Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Pi Inboxed. So just for the viewers who have come for the first time, we are building a project which would help you answer any questions from a given PDF. So it's going to be similar to Pdf.ai app. So in this video, we are going to just learn a bit of terminology and understand a couple of new concepts. So first thing, LLM stands for large language model. This is an algorithm essentially that generates some amount of text. There are many different language models out there. In this course, we are going to mostly focus on OpenAI, but there are tons of other models that you can use. When we make use of these LLMs, there are two standard styles of interface that we get, and most of the LLMs out there follow the completion style of interface. And let me help you what I mean by completion style. So let's imagine we have some input which we are planning to pass to an AI or an LLM. Let's say it is something like I want to learn a new language, and as soon as I give that limited amount of text, we notice that there are few more context added to the text automatically. So let's see a quick example out of it. I'll open ChatGPT and I'll enter the same text which I shared. I want to learn a new language, and as we can see that there are few prompts given already, which are completion style of content given by the ChatGPT, and we can choose any one of them. And most of the chat LLMs out there are using these completion style of models. So whatever we feed into this completion style of model, the model can imagine it's going to, like, you can imagine that it's going to put a cursor at the end of the string and then try to add some text to it. Yeah, so that's one. And then yeah, there's another type of model which is chat style model, which we would be mostly familiar with, because that's what we generally use in websites like ChatGPT. These models are slightly different and they have kind of back and forth or conversation style of exchange. So we get these much more distinct messages where we say, or I say something and I get a response back, and I say something again and I get another response back. Under the hood, these are absolutely still language models which are 100% using completion style models. They are kind of exact same thing. It's just that they're tweaked a little bit to make it feel like more conversation style. Now, the reason I kind of make or I distinguish here is when we read LangChain documentation or we do plan to use LangChain modules, most of them would be under the hood using completion style model, or they'll be expecting us to give queries in completion style model. And that's what we are going to assume when we are working the project. And in many cases, we want to use this conversation style models because they tend to be very high quality and very good. And then so just to give you more context, in the project which we are building right now, Pdf.ai clone app, we are essentially going to allow users to keep asking queries on a PDF, and we want to have build that conversation with users. If you allow only single query for a given PDF, then there won't be a conversation built up, or people can't add a follow-up queries, which won't be that good a project. So we want to end up building a conversation style model because they're very high quality and they bring in more audience, and it's easy to interact and learn more about a given PDF. So to use this conversation style models in LangChain, we have to go through a little bit of extra work, and that's what we're going to do right now. So I'll tell you some background behind these conversation style models and help you understand a couple of concepts we are going to need to use them on the LangChain platform. So the first thing is to understand is around why using chat language model is little bit more complicated, is that the interface. In other words, the inputs and the outputs are little bit stranger. In completion style model, it's really simple. We essentially have some input text and we get some output text. We get some plain output text. It just appends on to the end of the input. But in chat style model, things are a little bit more complicated because we have to somehow distinguish between the my message and the chatbot message. So that's what it's really about. How do we kind of distinguish between these kind of messages when doing a follow up? So to understand this, we are going to go back to we are going to go to the playground, which is provided by ChatGPT. Note that in order to use this playground, you will need to purchase the API. And we have already created a video. It's the episode 4 of the series where I've shown you how to purchase the API. And in episode 5, I showed you how to use the API key and the secrets to make a query to OpenAI. So now back to the topic. Here I'll select the mode chat. We have different modes here: chat and completion. Other, we'll select the chat mode because we want to see how chat-like interfaces look like. So in this chat-like interface, I'll just put something like what is 1 plus 1. If I submit, I'll get some response which is 2. Now I'll say add more 2 to it, so I'll get another response which is 4. Now if you see here, where there are three different labels in this interface right now. So there's one which we see is the user interface, under is assistant, and final is system. These are very key and important terms which we'll be using throughout the project, and they will be very useful in building a chat based conversation PDF bot. So let me help you understand what they're talking about. So as you can guess, the user label means something created by the user, so which is me in this case. And assistant is a message that has been created by the chat model. And the final thing, system message, which is optional. We don't always have to make use of it, but it's going to somehow customize. So you can think of system message as a customizable message, which would say chatbot how to behave and generally respond. And it's usually set by us developers, and it's not given an option for the users to set it. So just to give you a quick example of how system message works, let's add a system message that you are a very quirky bot. You always respond in puns. And now when I ask a query, if let's say what is 1 plus 1, I'll get a response, not 2 but some pun added to it. So that's what system message do. It tweaks the entire behavior of the bot. Yeah, so system message, as we saw, it kind of customized the response that we get. So all right, so in total we have covered system, user, and assistant message. So we can kind of imagine that if we take a full conversation like bot, what uh, I've got on the left side, which is system message, we'll need to utilize that to help bot understand what's he supposed to do. And the user and assistant message is what the queries will be going on in our app. All right, now last thing I want to cover right now is around the kinds, around the chat style of models and chat GPT in particular. This is kind of unexpected thing, and it's pretty much important of this entire video. When we make use of these conversation style models like ChatGPT, they do not somehow magically remember our conversation. So every time we talk to ChatGPT and continue a conversation, we have to send along the entire message history. So let me give you a quick demonstration of what I mean by this. Let's imagine I create a user message, tell me a joke, and I want to have a conversation with ChatGPT around this kind base user message. So I would send this off to ChatGPT, and I would get a response back with an assistant message which would have some joke. So now in my program I have two messages. One was initial tell me a joke, which is the user message, and then a follow up coming from the assistant, which is the assistant message. Now here's the important part: ChatGPT does not have any record whatsoever of these two messages, and that and what we have until now exchanged with each other. So if I send a single follow up message like why, it would just think it's uh, not sensible, and it would just respond some very weird answer. But what I wanted is why as a follow up query for the previous response by the agent. So ChatGPT does not automatically start having the memory. So what we do is we club all these messages. So the previous messages which I shared, the message which ChatGPT responded as assistant messages, and along with that the new user message which we are sending. So it would understand the like it would essentially extend our conversation, and it would include all the messages, all the ones which you have processed until now, and then it would respond to the query further. So that's how it works internally, and that's how we are going to build our project, wherein we'll be using the we'll be keeping track of the memory, and we'll keep sending the entire chain to the chat gpt or openai to get the response back for the further queries. So yeah, that's more about this video. I think we have covered on a brief level of how things would look like and how LangChain would behave and how what is LLM and what are different type of models and which one we are planning to use. So I apologize for this long video, but yeah, in the next video we'll try to keep it more brief on more contextual. And yeah, see you in next video. I hope you liked this video. Please like, share, and subscribe if you liked it. And by the end of the series, maybe in next 50 videos or so, I hope we'll be completing the entire replica, building the entire replica of Pdf.ai app. So please subscribe and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any video. And just for the context, I post one video every day. So it's better if you subscribe, or if not, you can just come and check the channel every day. All right. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye.